Every January in Park City, Utah, the Sundance Film Festival brings together storytellers and audiences for the premiere of groundbreaking dramatic and documentary films and episodic content.
Today, Panther News is thrilled to speak with a very special guest from the BevCam studio at Beverly High School in Beverly, Massachusetts. BHS graduate and now senior programmer for the Sundance Film Festival, Heidi Zwicker, joining us today from the Sundance Film Festival in Park City, Utah. Thank you so much for speaking with us today, Heidi. We're so honored.
Oh, I'm really happy to talk to you guys.
During the pandemic, the festival pivoted to a virtual format. This year, festival goers are once again converging upon Park City in the flesh. How does it feel at long last to be back in person?
A little surreal, actually, but it's really exciting. It's funny because I've been working at the festival for such a long time. It's sort of like it became second nature to do it in person. So then after doing it online for 2 years, I'm like, oh no, am I rusty? But it's really exciting. As wonderful as the last 2 online years have been, there's really nothing like being with a filmmaker when an audience sees their work for the first time.
So you're a senior programmer for the Sundance Festival. Could you tell us about what a programmer does and what it's like to do the job?
The really simplest, shortest answer is that the programming team selects the work that we play in the festival. That definitely does mean that a part of the year I'm just locked in my house watching movies every minute of the day, but there's more to it as well. We're also researching projects that haven't been made yet, meeting artists before they make their work so that they understand what Sundance is and think about it as a path when they have work to share. So basically my team spends half the year scouting, about half the year, watching films, and then, obviously November, December, we're just getting ready for this whole festival craziness.
That's awesome. So what elements or qualities, in your opinion, make the best stories stand out from the rest?
I really think the most important thing is authenticity or originality of a filmmaker's voice. Sometimes you can see a film that looks beautiful, but if it doesn't feel real, it doesn't connect with audiences. And so that's, I think, the best thing about a festival, because you see films from all different types of filmmakers, all different parts of the world, and it allows you to travel without traveling, experiencing lives that you never got to be a part of. So I really think the most important thing is that there feels like there's a real connection between the people making it and the story they're telling.
So we discovered that for much of your time here at BHS, you were a member of the drama club. Did you already have a passion for storytelling back when you were in high school?
I loved plays, and I loved movies, and I loved TV. And the truth is, I never thought that I would have that as a career, because I am super shy, incredibly shy. And everything I've ever heard about the industry was oh, you have to have thick skin, and oh, you have to be really gregarious. And that's not me. So I always I had a passion, but I thought it was just a hobby. I never thought my job would involve movies or film, at all in it. So it was kind of a lucky chance.
Could you tell us a little bit about your journey from Beverly High School to the world of film?
Sure. So when I graduated, I went to UMass Dartmouth, and I actually majored in English. And I thought oh, that's a sensible degree. Maybe I'll become an English teacher. That seems like a more realistic path. And when I got to UMass Dartmouth, it turns out that within the English program, they had a concentration in film and drama studies. And I was like, well, this is fate. So I can still get my English degree and actually study the thing I love. And, by the end of that, I was really kind of hooked, and I was just looking for a way to make this my life. And so then I went to UCLA Film School, where I did film studies. Again, not entirely knowing what I was going to do with it, how that was going to be a job. But I was lucky in that while I was at UCLA, one of my fellow students had an internship at Sundance. And they were looking for people to read scripts for the feature film program, the program that does our labs for filmmakers. And I had never had a job reading scripts like that before. I had never done coverage, but I was like, well, I'll just go and talk to them. And they met me, and I guess they liked my taste, and they gave me a shot. And from that, the next year I was screening movies for the festival.
Wow.
That's awesome. Over the past 4 decades, hundreds of films launched at the festival have gone on to critical and commercial success. Could you speak about the unique and important role Sundance plays in providing exposure for today's emerging storytellers?
I mean, Sundance is a festival that celebrates independence and originality. So sometimes, like, films can't get made within the official studio system. So we're a place that helps launch them into the world and then find their path forward and help filmmakers, find their career path going forward. So I think we're really an important place because we allow people who make art on their own terms to meet the place where their work is going to move forward and meet an audience.
Speaking of that, Coda, which won the Academy Award for Best Picture, and Summer of Soul, which won the Academy Award for Best Documentary, both had their world premieres at the 2021 Sundance Film Festival. That's an impressive track record. Could you tell us a little bit about films you're programming at this year's Sundance?
There's a lot of films I really love this year. There is a film called Eileen, which I also love to read, and Eileen is a book.
I've read that book.
Oh, nice. And so, but it's a book that doesn't, you don't necessarily see how it's going to be a movie. So I was really interested. So I think that one, it stars Anne Hathaway, who is amazing in it. And it's like winter in Massachusetts, so like I love that, like being transported back home feeling, although it's period set, obviously, so I wasn't alive then, but so I really like that one. Another film I like is Magazine Dreams. It's just a really exciting filmmaker, and his name is Elijah Bynum, and I literally only found out last week he's from Amherst, Massachusetts. I just love the movie. And Jonathan Majors, obviously he's already like a star, but he is so good in this movie. So I'm really excited for people to see that one.
That's awesome. I'm a huge Otessa Moshfegh fan, so I'm super excited about Eileen. So it's great to hear that. Audiences can attend Sundance online from their own homes this year. Tickets are available online at festival.sundance.org/tickets. Heidi, could you suggest some films for high school students to virtually attend from their own homes?
Well, yes. I would recommend a film that's in the World Dramatic Competition. It's a film from the UK called Scrapper. And it's a film about a young girl whose mom has passed away and she's living on her own, and then her dad comes back into her life. So it's like a coming of age story, but it's also really imaginative. And it is like actually and truly the only movie that made me cry when I watched it this year. So I would say that one's a really good one. For people who are interested in journalism, we have a documentary called Bad Press, which is about like working for a newspaper in the Native community in the Muskogee Nation. And I like it's just I love seeing a world that I knew nothing about and what it means to be a journalist in a very particular part of society. So I recommend that one for any doc fans.
Awesome. Thank you.
Those sound amazing, Heidi. We are so grateful for your time today and so inspired to learn about your success doing what you love.
Thank you. No, it's a pleasure talking to you. I come back to Beverly a lot. My family all still lives there. So I still feel really tied to the community.
Awesome. Thank you so much also to everyone at Sundance for helping make this conversation possible and for providing a platform for so many incredibly creative and talented storytellers.
Hope you have a fantastic film festival. We are so excited to check out the films you recommended. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.